We're back on the bikes again, back in the Vaucluse after Fifi's trip, and we've just got back from the most stunning ride. We went up the hill from us, up past Cazeneuve, through the lavender fields around the back of Viance, and then up to Simiane-La-Rotonde, our favourite place for breakfast, without any shadow of a doubt, and bumped into friends en route. So that was lovely. We ended up sitting with them over breakfast. They went over towards Sceaux and we carried on the other way. We came back via Valsant, which is a stunning rose garden set on a rocky outcrop just not far from Simiane-La-Rotonde. It's the most incredible garden. During June it's filled with roses, and when you look at the climate here, I have absolutely no idea how they achieve what they do. But it's spectacular and the views are beautiful, but it's also a lovely place to go and sit in the shade. So after a slow breakfast at Simiane, we popped up the hill and then went and sat in the shade under one of the pergolas there for about half an hour, just chatting, and then came back down through Viance, under Viance, back down the Gorge d'Opedette, and then back round through the sunflower fields back to the bottom of the hill. I say the bottom of the hill because this is where I leave Andy. We live up a hill. When we first bought the house, we said we're not going to live up a hill because the last thing we want to do is cycle uphill on the way back at the end of a ride, having done that on Dartmoor. So, but we had that as one of the key criteria for the house. Unfortunately, when I went and viewed the house, I fell in love with it, actually drove back down to the bottom of the hill and then recorded a film going up the hill saying, "It's not that far, it's fine, we'll be able to get it, the hill's fine." So what I do now is I stop here and Andy, bless him, carries on up the hill and goes and picks up what is now our new bike carrier, Fifi. It turns out that my bike slides perfectly into the back of her. The other thing we found out, which we found out when we got back from our adventure, is that the hill up to the house is a category 1 climb. In the Tour de France, the rumour and legend is that they categorised all the climbs based on the gear needed in a 2CV to get up it. Well, I can tell you that having done our hill, Fifi is definitely doing it in first gear, so it's certainly a category 1 climb. We knew it was over 20%, but it definitely is. So to be honest, I'm really happy now that I no longer have to do that at the end of the ride. So I sit in the shade down here, park my bike up, with this lovely view behind across to the Luberon, which is utterly beautiful. And this is where actually the Paris-Nice ride went this spring, the last ride that we saw here. So I stand here and wait for Andy to come down in Fifi and pick me up. So my trusty steed has arrived. As I say, no need to go up to the house now, and my bike just slides very happily into Fifi's boot. The joys of a 2CV. It's just brilliant, and as I say, I feel very lucky because I don't have to go up the hill. But Fifi is obviously the ultimate multi-purpose vehicle. Anyone who needs something to do bike carrying could do a lot worse than buy one, particularly as you know she'll go at category 1 climbs very easily. Anyway, time for lunch. Bye bye.